Oh, yeah, you aren't lying. That's right. Okay, I want to tell you a little bit of story that about a first job I had in high school. Well, actually, it was before I was start high school in the fall. And my main priority that summer, my goal was to spend every day on the beach surfing and maybe find a job. And I was more committed to surfing, but I also wanted to save some money somehow so I could buy my own surfboard. Because I would go to the beach, and all my friends would be out there and they'd say, yeah, you can use mine, I'm not going right now. And you know, it's really hard to learn how to surf on everybody else's board when you don't have one. So I was able to do that until my preacher got wind that I was surfing every day, and I was spending a lot of time with his daughter. We had been on choir tour together and had got into just, you know, no harm, no foul kind of trouble, sort of. And I guess word got back to him that that was what was going on. So, you know, I didn't think it was that big a deal. I mean, first of all, our preacher's name was Peter Lord. So you're like, oh, really? I mean, come on, you can't make this stuff up. And his daughter was the typical preacher's kid. She was all over the place, so much fun. You just double dog dared her to do anything, and she'd do it. So that's my kind of people. So one night we were on choir tour somewhere in Mississippi, and there would be like 90 of us on a Greyhound going out. That year we went out to the Astrodome. It was the first year it was built, and we got a tour of it, which I thought was just like cool beans to be in that building. Whether they played a ball game or not, I didn't care. So she apparently told her father that while we were visiting this preacher and his wife in Mississippi, that we had kind of embarrassed her. And what had happened is the couple that we were staying with, Reverend and his lovely wife, who were way more rabid devout Baptists than we ever thought about being, caught Susan upstairs just chattering away about being a preacher's kid and how hard it must be and blah, blah, blah. They have a daughter, Rita, that she's not singing gospel anymore. She's joined some boy band overseas, and they couldn't even think of the name of the band. And so Susan finally gets able to get away from them a little bit, and we can hear them coming down the steps into the basement. Well, in the meantime, my other friend Rosie and I had hung all her underwear all over the basement ceiling with stick pins and worn out bras that she brought. I mean, everything that we could possibly find. And we cut the lights off because, you know, we're supposed to be asleep, right? And we can't help ourselves, we're giggling. And so the preacher opens the door, turns on the lights, and Susan is just totally horrified, which was perfect. We just loved that so much. So the next morning we're having breakfast with the parental unit preacher and his wife, and they're talking about their daughter again. You know, too bad she's straight from the Lord, and you know, we were sorry to hear that. And we said, well, what does she do? Well, she sings with this band, this new band. This was like 1968, 1969, and they couldn't say, it's like, you know, some bugs or something, and we were like, bugs, you know. Well, it dawned on me that this was the Reverend and Mrs. Coolidge, and their daughter was Rita Coolidge. And she was overseas singing with the boy band, the Beatles. And so we were famous after that night. Everybody wanted to hear that story. But I digress. So my preacher decides he's going to get me a job in this little diner downtown. It's a hole in the wall. It's been a hole in the wall since day one. It's still there to this day. So he introduced me to the owner. Her name's Eula Salisbury, and she's a very proud woman about this restaurant that, you know, I'm like, I can't see what's so special, but, you know, I'll do it because I want to buy my surfboard. You know, I've got one already picked out. So she takes me in the first day, she goes, now you need to wear a white dress and a black apron. I thought, okay, this won't last long, but I'll try it. So she had me go through the menu, learn the menu with her, and nothing changed on the menu. It had been the same for 20 years. I couldn't see what the big deal was. She said, now you need to make sure you get the right prices on everything. I said, I know, I can see your specials. Every Friday night, everybody comes in. You either have fried chicken and mashed potatoes and green beans, or you have catfish, coleslaw, and hush puppies. And the third was something I would never touch in a million years. It was liver and onions. It was like, I couldn't even bring it outside. It just made me gag so bad. Well, of course, I get a guy who comes in to my set of tables every Friday night, and he orders liver and onions. So, the worst part about it is he never tipped me. And at that time, I was working for 52 cents an hour plus tips. So this was a while ago, I know. But I just thought, God, you're such a jerk. He comes in here every week. He runs me to death. Can you bring me some warm rolls from the bun warmer in the back of the kitchen? I said, I know where it is. So I go back there. He would have died if he'd known I'd been throwing this stuff back in that bun warmer when I took the dirty dishes back. They didn't look bad at all. Come on. So I never did spit in his plate, although I had thought about it. So he now really, we didn't get along that well, and every week I'd get him. So finally one night he's saying to me, sweetie, can you get me this? Honey pie, can you get me this? And I'm like, I'm over it. I'm so over this guy trying to be nice to me. I just want to slap him upside the head. So I go and I tell Eula back in the kitchen, Eula, I am not waiting on that man another minute. He is such a pig. I'm tired of it. And he never, tips me. And she takes me by the ear, walks me in the food locker, closes the door behind us, and she said, don't you ever think you're going to tell me who you're going to wait on in this restaurant. This is my restaurant. I built this up. That man is a good customer. I thought, you obviously haven't waited on me. So I managed to keep my mouth shut. When I came out of the food locker, Inez, the cook, was just giggling because she knew I got the what for from Eula. And I thought, well, when I took this job, I had promised Peter Lord that I would not quit until I had my surfboard paid for. I didn't tell him that part, but I wouldn't quit. I was going to fulfill my mission there that summer. And it worked out pretty good because I would surf in the mornings, and then in the afternoons I was supposed to be at work at 3 and work 3 to 9. And Eula kept saying, if you work harder and work better, you can move up to first shift, which would have really ruined my surfing. So I just, didn't act like I really cared that much about it. I didn't. So we had come up, and I've decided I think I have about another week to go before I can buy my surfboard. And already I'm planning, how am I going to get out of this? Because I don't want to quit. And I certainly don't want Peter Lord mad at me because, he's got a better connection than I got. And so I thought about it all week. And on Friday night, here's the specials up. Here comes Mr. Pigman. I called him. I said, this is the night. So we were busy. Oh my God, we were so busy that night. I was running hither, thither, and not yawning. I didn't really have time for him to bother me. I was so busy. And so I finally decided, this is how I'm going to go out of here. I'm not going to quit. So as I'm bringing his liver and onions over to his table, there is a cord from the fan sitting on the floor there, run across the floor, and I walked up to his table and did a whoops, and I threw that liver and onions all over the front of that man. I was so happy. It went all the way down him, and I'm grabbing a napkin and trying to clean him up. I'm so sorry. Right. So Eula sees what's happened, and she grabs me again by the ear and walks me back. I said, Eula, I've had it. I'm not doing it anymore. And she goes, you're damn right you're not doing it anymore. You're fired. I was like, yes! That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And I got my surfboard the next day, 11'6" Duke Hanamoto. I know that doesn't mean a whole lot to some of you, but that was like my pride and joy for the next 3 years. So I didn't break any promises that I had made, and I tried not to run around too much with the preacher's daughter when I finally did get out of there. So, thanks.